Hi, I'm Amanda, this is Copper, and I read 18 books in the month of February. Don't ask me how I did it, I have no idea. But let's go over them with a yes, no, or maybe on if I think you should read them. Okay, first up is The Berry Pickers by Amanda Peters. I rated this one 3 stars, and I'm going to say no on this one. It's like a fiction book, which isn't usually what I love to read. So it was just a little bit slow at times and not my favorite thing ever. It was still a pretty good story. I don't know, wasn't my favorite. And then I listened to Twisted Love by Huang. I rated this one 4.25 stars, and I'm gonna say yes for this one. I hear that a lot of people really didn't like this book, which I don't understand. Maybe the audiobook is better and is why I liked it so much. I don't know. I thought it was great, so if you're looking to try out this book, maybe go with the audiobook, because I had a fun time. And then I read The North Wind by Alexandria Warwick. I really enjoyed this book. I had a really fun time reading it, and I'm gonna say yes for recommending this book. It was a fun time. It gives like ACOTAR, kind of like Beauty and the Beast vibes, so it was a fun time. I enjoyed the book. The end kind of threw me for a loop. I did not like the ending, I'll just say that. So that's probably where it lost some points for me, but still a fun time. And there is a second book, but it doesn't continue from this story. It's like interconnected, I guess. So from someone else's point of view. And I do have that book, so I can't wait to read that one and continue with this one. And then I read Face Off by Chelsea Curto, and I rated this one 4.25 stars, and I'm gonna say yes for this one. I love a good hockey romance, so obviously. But this one was really fun because the FMC is the hockey player, and I just really loved that. It was really like female empowering, I guess, that she was a hockey player in like the professional men's league. So that was really fun. It was a great story, and I can't wait to read more of that series. When in Rome by Sarah Adams, I gave this one 4.25 stars, and I'm gonna say yes for this one. I read Beg, Borrow, or Steal in January, so I had to go back for the first one of the series, and I just love these books. They're so fun. They're such a cute, fun read. I would highly recommend them. And yes, I did think that this was Rome, Italy at first. It's not. So don't go into this book expecting that like I did. But it was still a really fun time, and I can't wait to read book 2. And then I read A Court This Cruel and Lovely by Stacia Stark. I loved this book. If you haven't read it, you need to read it. I gave this 5 stars. It was such an amazing read. Highly, highly recommend. So yes to that one. It was such a fun fantasy world. I really loved like the magic system and the world building, and the story was just really fun. And yeah, I had such a fun time reading this, and I just need everyone else to go and read it, and I can't wait to continue the series. I'm so excited for it. And then I listened to the audiobook for Two Can Play by Ali Hazelwood. I guess this is only an audiobook, which I didn't really realize, and it's really short. So if you need a short, fun audiobook to listen to, I would highly recommend it. It was a fun time. And I gave this one 4 stars, and I just love Ali Hazelwood regardless, so yeah. And then I read Trial of the Sun Queen and Rule of the Aurora King by Nisha J. Tuli. I loved these books too. I gave them both 5 stars. Such a fun ride, such a fun story. I'm completely obsessed. I do have book 3, but I don't have book 4, so I'm waiting until I get book 4 to just binge the rest of the series because I'm obsessed with it. It's like, these books live up to the hype, and a lot of fantasy books don't usually do that, but these ones do. So if you haven't read these, what are you doing? Go read them. They are so good. And then for my Sisterhood of the Traveling Book Club, I read The 5-Star Weekend by Elle and Hilderbrand. Unfortunately, I kind of hated this book. If it wasn't part of my Sisterhood of the Traveling Book Club thing, I probably would have DNF'd it, honestly. I just found every character in this book to be insufferable. I really hated them all. It has the cheating trope like 2 times in here, and 1 time is more than enough for me. I hate that trope so much. So yeah, I gave this one 2 stars, and I'm gonna say no for me. I know a lot of people love this book, but it was just not for me. No. I had so many good reads in February, so many 5-star reads, and it was just such a good reading month for me. And First Time Caller by B.K. Borison was another 5-star read for me. I loved this book. It was so good. I highly, highly recommend this. It just gives like 2000s rom-com vibes. It was just such a sweet and incredible story. I love it so much. So if you haven't picked this book up yet, you got to. It's so good. And then I listened to the audiobook for Hooked by Emily McIntire. I rated this one 3.75 stars, and I'm gonna say maybe for this one. I didn't completely love it. I didn't completely hate it. It was just kind of mid for me. But I did just buy a bunch more of the books in this series, so I'm excited to try those out. Hopefully I will like them more than this one, but it was okay. And then I read an arc called Shades of Power by Jenny Grimes, and I really enjoyed this book. I mean, the cover is stunning. I'm obsessed with it. I gave this book 4 stars, and I would say yes to recommending it. It was a really fun time. I really enjoyed the magic system. It was really unique, where like every color represented a different type of magic, and it was just a fun time. It was a really unique story, and I really love that about it. So this one and this one, I believe, has already been released, so go check it out. It's so great. Highly recommend it. And then in preparation for Wild Side coming out, and I actually got to meet Elsie Silver, and I went to like a release / book signing type thing for her. So in preparation for that, I needed to read the Chestnut Spring series. So obviously started with Flawless. It's the first book. I did enjoy this book. I gave it like 4 stars. I'm gonna say yes for this one. I love a good cowboy small town romance book. It wasn't my complete favorite, but it was still a really fun time. And I have continued more of the series in March, so stay tuned for the rest of that. But yeah, I love this. I'm loving Elsie Silver's writing. It just can do no wrong. So I also got an arc for The Charlie Method by Elle Kennedy, which has also already been released. I loved it. It was such a fun read. Again, I love a hockey romance, and this was a why choose hockey romance, so enough said. But I rated that one 4.25 stars, and I'm gonna say yes for that one. I just really enjoyed the story. I think for like a why choose romance, it was kind of a bit more believable, I guess, to me. Just like in other Why Choose romances that I've read, they just kind of are like really confident about their choice, which is great. But what I loved about this book is how the characters kind of struggled with this decision, and like how it would be seen and what people were gonna say when they found out, which I really appreciated, just how, I guess, more realistic it is. But yeah, I did really enjoy it. It was a fun time. So if you haven't read it, go read it. And I know there's like 2 other books for like that series, so I still need to read those. I'm so excited to do that. And then I read another arc called The New York Charm by Riley Winters, and I loved this book. I gave it 5 stars, highly recommend. This one comes out on March 18th, so it's coming up. And I actually met Riley through Book Talk and became friends with her on there, and this is her debut novel, and I'm just so happy that I was able to be an ARC reader and support her for that. And it's such a good story. It's like a second chance romance set in New York. It gives like 2000s rom-com vibes, and it was just such a fun story. The writing was really beautiful, and I loved every second of it. So highly recommend. Again, it comes out March 18th, and yeah, go pick it up. Riley is amazing. We love her. Go support her. And then I read Swift and Saddled by Lyla Sage. Actually, I listened to this on audiobook, I believe. Yeah. I gave this one 4.75 stars. It's a yes, obviously. Again, how can you do a cowboy romance bad? I don't think it's possible. I don't want to find out if it is. But I love this. I've been loving the Rebel Blue Ranch series. I can't wait to read Lost and Lassoed. And then Wild and Wrangled comes out this year as well. I mean, they're so good. They're definitely kind of quicker reads, which is fun. They're good palate cleansers. And yeah, we just love a good cowboy romance over here. So obviously, yes. And then for my work book club, we read The Last Letter by Rebecca Yarros. And I started this book like beginning of February. I got 9% into the book and was already crying. So I just had to put it down and take a break because I knew it was gonna be completely soul crushing and put me in a reading slump, which it did. So I'm glad I waited until the end of the month for that. Honestly, this book was too sad. It was too sad. And like, I love a good sad book, but I think there's a difference between like a sad book and a depressing book, at least maybe in my world, I guess, is what I'm coming to realize. And this book was massively depressing to me. So I rated it 3 stars. I'm gonna say no for a recommendation. I just think it was too sad. And like the ending, no, I'll never be okay with the ending. Yeah, no. And yeah, so this book put me in a book slump, and I knew it would. So just, I don't know. I don't think you have to put yourself through that, honestly. And then I did also DNF 2 books this month. One was an arc, other one was The Road to Oblivion, which was actually like, I have a book club on Fable, and that was a book pick for the month. I just don't think I'm in a YA space anymore in my life. I don't know. I wasn't enjoying the story. I wasn't liking any of the characters, and so I just DNF'd it, which is totally fine. All right, so those are my 18 reads for the month of February. It was such a good month. Honestly, January kind of sucked as a reading month for me. So February really made up for that, and I love that. I had so many 5-star reads. So many good reads. I found a bunch of like undiscovered reads or like new releases, which I love, and it was just such a fun reading month. Honestly, so many good ones, some not great ones, but the good ones made up for that as well. So we love that. But yeah, there is my monthly reading wrap up for the month of February. Let me know if you guys have read any of these books, if you love them, if you hate them, let me know. Love you guys, bye.